Hey guys, what we want to do today is we're going to talk about how to add and subtract expressions. Remember, expressions is going to be no equal signs. So we're going to talk about how to add and subtract them today. It's very similar to what we did the other day in class. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we use the distribution property. All right. So we're going to make sure we find the distribution property. The distribution property is that one when there's something on the outside of a parenthesis being multiplied, we bring it into everything. We're not going to do it much today in this video, but I want you to see it. That's what we always do first, so I'm going to at least put it there for now for future use. Next, this is what's really big, is we want to make sure that we change any subtraction to addition. Alright, and you'll see what happens later on. So when we subtract something, we want to get rid of it completely. And you'll see that in a minute. So we want to make sure we change subtraction to addition. And then finally, just like we did the other day, we're just going to combine like terms. Remember, combining like terms means it has the exact same variables and exact same powers. Alright? So now we're going to come down here where we're adding. Now this is going to seem kind of strange because it seems exactly what we did the other day, but it just happens to be parentheses. So what's nice is if we have a plus sign, the nice part about this is it just the plus sign goes away, or the plus sign just makes the parentheses go away. So I can just come down here and change this to 3x plus 7 plus 8x minus 5. So a good thing to do every now and then is to change this to plus minus. Let's get rid of all the subtraction. That's just a good, healthy thing to do. And I'm going to sit there and say, okay, what can I add to 3x? I can add 8x. They are like terms. Both have x's, same powers. Then I can do the same thing with 7. I can do the same thing with negative 5. So now what I can do is I can say, what's 3x and 8x? That's 11x. And I have a positive 7 and a negative 5. So one thing we did before is we talk about tick marks. Positive 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These cancel out, and I'm left with 2 positive, so it's just plus 2. So remember here, I have an x and a non-x, so I can't add them up because they have different variables. So that's my answer. Alright, sorry about that. So that's what I want to make sure we look at there. So now what I want you to do in your groups is press pause for a minute. Alright, press pause and see if you can do B. Alright, so see if you can do B on your own. So go ahead and pause now. Alright, so now what I want you to do is we're going to make sure that we go ahead and just go ahead and do this and check it real quick to do, see what you do. So again, remember, the parentheses go away. Good idea to change it to plus minus. So I have a 2x. I can add that to negative 5x. I have a 12y and an 8y. So 2 minus 5. We can use a number line. Here's 2. If I go negative 5, that's backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. I know that's hard to read, but you get the idea. So I move back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. Remember, I don't care what you use. I'm just using a different way of showing it now. So 2 and negative 5 is a negative 3x. So those are gone. Now I have 12y and 8y. And that's just 20y. And that's our answer. Alright, so you should say right now that, hey, that's very similar to what we did before. So now let's get a little bit different. Now we have subtraction. Now subtraction gets very strange. So what happens is 3x minus 5 is perfect. We're just going to say, okay, that's 3x minus 5. I can just bring that down. But just like when we subtract anything, we're going to change this to a plus. So remember, plus the opposite. But the problem is there's parentheses here. So we're going to change this to a plus, and everything inside the parentheses is going to become its opposite. So I'm going to change this to a plus. And then the 8x is positive, so I'm going to make that a negative 8x. So I'm basically bringing that negative to both places. Changing it to a plus, bring the negative to 8, and bring the negative to 9. So you notice that my minus changes that 8 to a negative and that 9 to a negative. All right, that's going to be weird for a while, but we'll get used to it. So basically what we're doing is just bringing the 3x minus 5 down. The negative comes in, the negative comes in, and they both change the things to opposites. All right, so plus 9 goes plus negative 9, so I just changed it to its opposite. So now what I can do is just, again, here's my 3x, here's my negative 8x. I should have changed that to a plus negative a while back. And there's my negative 5, there's my negative 9. So 3x and a negative 8x. All right, so 3x and negative 8x. I combine those. Remember, there's whatever you want to do, rules, money. If I have $3, but I owe someone 8, I'm going to give them 3, and that means I still owe them 5. So negative 5x. So those are gone. So I have negative 5 and negative 9. They're both the same signs. So I add the numbers up, keep the sign. So plus a negative 14. All right, and that would be my answer. All right. Could easily be this, just in case you're wondering, it could easily be negative 5x minus 14. Because remember, a plus negative is the same thing as a minus. So plus negative is the same thing as minus. All right. I didn't say this earlier, but now I want you to try D on your own. So pause it, and when you guys are done, go ahead and unpause, and then go ahead and see if you can check the answers and see how you do. All right, so pause now. All right, so let's make sure we go over it real quick and see what happens. 4x plus 12 comes down because there's nothing in front of it. We're all good. This minus is going to come here. This minus is going to come here. All right, so I change this minus to a plus. 9x, I'm bringing that negative in, so it becomes a negative 9x. I'm going to bring this minus in, and so I'm going to have this minus will come down, because it's minus. And this negative goes over here to the 14, so it becomes a negative 14. And some of you, I'm sure, are already saying to yourself, couldn't I just change that to a plus up here, a minus, and a minus is a plus? Yeah, I'm just showing it in one step or two steps. Make sure you feel free in the future to do it in one step. So I can change this to 4x plus 12 plus negative 9x, and this becomes plus 14. All right? And then we just do what we've been doing. Here's 4x. There's a negative 9x. There's a 12. And there's a 14. 4 and negative 9 ends up being negative 5x. 12 and 14 is a positive 26. And there you go. I'll say this again. I'll say this a couple times. You'll hear me a lot. The minus here is we're gonna have some problems with that. So if you struggle with it a little bit, don't worry about it too much. Just try your best. Just make sure that minuses, we always want to make sure we bring it in. So if you see a minus, bring it into everything inside the parenthesis. Again, I know some of you could start seeing some tricks and figure it out, but that's it for now. So don't worry about it if you don't get it right away. Do your best. Try it, and we'll keep trying it. All right. Thanks a lot.